Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Happy 2026, top of the year, first show of the year for your boy. And of course, coming at you from Baltimore, Maryland, onfirebroadcasting.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, just search The Diamond K Show. So I want to talk about something that has been all over the internet for the past few days. And that is Donald Trump's bruised and bandaged and now bleeding hands. Now, we've been talking about his hand condition and the makeup and the bandages, and we've been talking about that. And if you've been online at all, you've seen the pictures, you've seen the purple knuckles, what looks like open skin, heavy bandage wrapped tight around his hand, and immediately the speculation started. Was it an IV mark? Was it some type of medical procedure? Is he hiding something? Yes. But now Trump has finally addressed it in a Wall Street Journal interview. This came out of nowhere. The pressure is everywhere, right? His explanation, he says that his hands look like they look because he has been shaking too many hands. All right. He's supposed to be so tough, right? If a guy's supposed to be so tough, why would shaking hands cause this type of damage? So I'm going to say this again. Donald Trump, who has spent the better part of 4 years refusing to even touch people, right? He's a historic germaphobe. He has refused to even touch people unless it is politically useful. Now wants us to believe that he has been falling apart because he's too friendly? Come on, nobody believes that. But let's talk about why it matters. Every president shakes hands. Barack Obama was famous for it. Joe Biden has been doing rope lines of folks since the 70s. George W. Bush was hugging everybody after 9/11. None of them were walking around like their knuckles, looking like they had 12 rounds with a heavyweight boxer. We're not talking about gossip here. We're trying to get to transparency. And when someone wants to control the most powerful military in human history, they don't get the luxury of secrecy about their health. And this isn't new behavior. Trump refused to release full medical records when he was in office previously. Remember when he bragged about being the healthiest president ever, but never showed the numbers? Here's the reality. Americans, we're not stupid. So when leaders hide basic information, the public fills in the blanks. That's not conspiracy culture. That's just human nature. And it fits a larger pattern. This is the same man who said COVID was just like the flu. Remember that? While secretly admitting on tape it was airborne and deadly. This is the same man who said everything was under control while chaos was brewing behind the scenes. So when he says, "Don't worry about my hand, it's just too many handshakes," people are not hearing reassurance. They're hearing deflection. And in 2025, trust was already a fragile thing. People are exhausted. They're tired of being told not to believe their eyes. It didn't work for Joe Biden. It's not going to work for Donald Trump. People, Americans, are tired of leaders who treat transparency like it's optional. So this story, it's much bigger than bruises. It's about credibility. Because when the truth is simple, you don't need excuses. You don't need them. So let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, anywhere on socials at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfirebroadcasting.com. Of course, on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. So China's BYD overtakes Tesla, the EV power is starting to shift. So every American should be paying attention, whether you drive an electric car or not. China's automaker, BYD, has officially surpassed Tesla to become the largest electric vehicle seller in the world. And I don't want you to brush this off as tech industry trivia. This is about who controls the future of transportation. For years, Elon Musk was treated like a real-life version of Tony Stark. Tesla wasn't just a company, it was a movement. It symbolized American innovation, climate-friendly progress, and Silicon Valley dominance. But while we were celebrating Elon memes and stock surges, China was busy building an empire. BYD didn't just build cars. They build the very important infrastructure. They manufacture their own batteries. They own mineral supply chains in Africa and in South America. They control shipping routes. They manufacture chips. They subsidize pricing. That is vertical integration. Tesla buys batteries. BYD makes batteries. Tesla relies on global shipping. BYD owns the factories. Tesla depends on American consumer subsidies. BYD is backed by a government that sees EV dominance as a national strategy. This is not capitalism. This is economic warfare. We should be paying attention to this. And this has happened before. If you remember, history repeats itself. In the 1980s, Japan overtook Detroit. America didn't lose because we didn't build cars. We lost because we stopped building systems. Now China is doing the same thing with EVs. And the danger here isn't Tesla losing market share. It's America losing leverage. Because whoever controls EV infrastructure controls energy independence, labor markets, urban designs, and environmental policy. This isn't a business story. This is a power story, and we need to get our act together. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, X, anywhere you get your podcast, all those things, search The Diamond K Show. Of course, I am here weekdays on firebroadcasting.com, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. We are talking about it. Now, Trump says, and he says a lot of things, right? But he says that the U.S. is locked and loaded if Iran kills protesters. Now, why is he jumping into all of that stuff? We're going to talk about it. Earlier today, President, I even hate to put president in front of his name, but Donald Trump posted on his social platform a powerful warning to the government of Iran. Now, they're just words, but he said that the United States is locked and loaded and ready to go if Iran's authorities shoot and violently kill peaceful protesters. That is an extraordinary statement from the U.S. president. It wasn't this the winner of the FIFA Peace Prize, right? A sitting U.S. president using language like locked and loaded, which historically refers to military readiness, in connection with another country's internal unrest. That raises a lot of questions. We've got to unpack it. So, from what we know about the president's posts, Trump warned Iran that if it continued to act badly, right? But if the government shoots or violently kills peaceful protesters, the United States would, quote unquote, come to their rescue. Then he added the phrase, "We are locked and loaded and ready to go." Now, it's important to note that I mean, we can't just skim over this. He did not clarify how exactly that rescue would occur. He didn't specify diplomatic pressure, which is what he should have done. He did not specify sanctions, which is what he should have done. He didn't say whether troops would be sent or air power would be used or what legal authorities might be invoked under U.S. law. Now, some supporters are going to say he's trying to be cagey. He wants to keep them guessing. He doesn't want to let them know what he's going to do. But this vagueness matters. It leaves the public and global leaders interpreting what kind of force and what kind of intervention the White House is actually contemplating. So if you don't know, we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening right now in Iran. Iran is experiencing one of its largest waves of protests in years, sparked by economic hardship and the severe collapse of the Iranian currency. Their money, there are a lot of problems right now. So demonstrations that started as economic protests have expanded into broader anti-government unrest. From reports inside Iran, multiple cities have seen clashes between demonstrators and security forces. At least several people have died amid the confrontations. The government is under immense pressure both domestically and internationally. So Iran's leadership has publicly condemned foreign interference and warned the U.S. not to cross what they call a red line. Of course, we wouldn't want anybody interfering, any other country interfering in our affairs. But let's break down some of these implications and what this means for U.S.-Iran relations. First, Trump's wording, locked and loaded, is historically associated with military readiness. It's a phrase used when a weapon is ready to fire. So if we're talking about foreign affairs, that kind of language signals escalation. Second, in previous years, tensions between the U.S. and Iran have included U.S. sanctions and pressure campaigns, American military actions against Iran and linked targets, Iranian just condemning U.S. policy. So it's really been uncomfortable. So this comment does not come in a vacuum. It lands in a context where both sides are already wary of escalation. And third and last, Iran's response was swift. Officials warned that any perceived U.S. interference could make American forces in the region legitimate targets. This kind of tit-for-tat rhetoric can increase the risk of direct confrontation if not handled diplomatically. So, what this means to the American people, you might be asking, why should U.S. listeners and viewers care about protests in Iran? And here's why. It is going to affect global stability. The Middle East is a region that remains strategically important to the global economy and world peace. So U.S. foreign policy decisions have consequences at home. Military engagement abroad can affect defense spending, troop deployment, and long-term budgets that impact Americans right here at home. And we're talking about infrastructure to healthcare. I mean, it is that important. American lives could be at stake if a foreign policy stance that results in military action. It could mean U.S. service members being deployed to a conflict zone. And for many Americans right now, we have questions. We do not need another overseas conflict. Does the U.S. have a clear exit strategy if we do get involved in Iran's business? Are there diplomatic alternatives that haven't been fully explored? And the answer is yes. We're not talking about rhetorical things. We're talking about real issues, and these are issues that deserve scrutiny. President Trump's statements today has put Iran and the United States back in the spotlight of geopolitical tension. Whether it was intended as pressure, a deterrent, or something else entirely, the world heard it as something serious. So we are living in a moment of heightened global risk, and it is crucial for citizens to understand the stakes, the language being used by our leaders, and the potential consequences of escalated rhetoric. Let me know your thoughts, of course. If you found today's show helpful, share this episode with your network and follow us on all socials at The Diamond K Show, of course, at On Fire Broadcasting, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, on youtube.com, I am DJ Diamond K, and our Substack. Definitely check us out there. We have a daily newsletter, and we are releasing articles all day on Substack. Now, in New York City, the now Mayor Mamdani, he's making waves. Let me say that he has undone some of the former Mayor Eric Adams' orders after his indictment. So things that happened after Eric Adams was indicted. The new mayor, Zoran Mamdani, has stepped in. All right, so he was sworn in as mayor, and in one of his first moves, he has really attacked a stack of executive orders that former Mayor Eric Adams issued. And this is a structural change. We're talking about something much bigger than just symbolism. This moment does matter, not just for New York, but for every other city watching what happens when a political brand collapses in real time. So let's start with how we actually got here. Eric Adams was once marketed as a law and order mayor. He's a former NYPD captain, and he, swaggered into City Hall, right? Said he had the swagger man energy. But the whole image collapsed under corruption, investigations, federal probes, campaign finance questions, international money trails, and eventually a full-blown indictment. And when the indictment dropped, it wasn't just about Adams. It exposed the culture around him, the backroom politics, the cronyism, the donors, the pay-to-play energy that too many black and brown voters were warned about but ignored because Adams knew how to talk that talk. New Yorkers didn't just lose a mayor, they lost confidence in the system. So then Mamdani steps in. Mamdani is not a political clone of Eric Adams. He's not trying to be a cop mayor. He's not smelling fear. He is rooted in progressive organizing, tenant rights, immigration protections, working class advocacy, and economic justice. His swearing in was not flashy, no bravado, no catchphrases, just a quiet, disciplined message. This city does not belong to donors. It belongs to the people who live here. And then he went to work. Within days of taking office, Mamdani began rescinding executive orders signed by Eric Adams. So what are we talking about? Orders that expanded police surveillance powers, rollbacks of sanctuary city protections, policy directives that cut funding from housing programs, orders that shifted money toward law enforcement instead of social services, decisions that weakened tenant protections and labor safeguards. Mamdani didn't just pause them, he nullified them. That's not normal. That's not politics as usual. That is a hard reset. This is what leadership looks like when you're not worried about protecting a predecessor's legacy, especially when that legacy was radioactive. So every mayor in America, I think, is watching this because the message is loud and clear. When corruption reaches City Hall, you don't maintain the status quo. You have to dismantle it. Baltimore should be paying attention. Chicago should be paying attention. Philly should be paying attention. LA should be paying attention. You cannot build trust on rotten policy. Mamdani understands that executive orders aren't sacred. They're just tools. And when tools are used to hurt people, you have to take them away. So I am glad that the Eric Adams era is over. And he did not fail because of politics. He fell because of arrogance, unchecked power, and ignoring the community that put him there. Mamdani is making it clear. The Adams era is not rebranded. It is being erased, but we cannot forget it. There's not going to be any memorials for Eric Adams. I don't think there's going to be any grace period, no fake tributes. This is the clean out phrase. Let me pause here for a minute. If you run a business, a nonprofit, a brand, a campaign, or you're having an event and you're trying to reach real people, the Diamond K Show is where your message belongs. We average thousands of listeners per episode across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and social media in general. Email me right now, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Subject line, advertise on The Diamond K Show. Let's build something profitable together. Now, we got to get back into it. Mamdani is not governing from a donor playbook. Like I said, this is not politics as usual. He's talking about housing first policies, reinvesting in mental health response teams, expanding immigrant protections, reversing the privatization deals. That is not moderate reform. That is a values shift. This is what happens when leaderships stop being afraid of backlash from the wealthy folks and really get in and do work for the people. New York City is not turning the page. They are tearing out the chapters. This is a moment in American politics that we will be talking about for years. It's your man Diamond K. This is the Diamond K Show. Make sure you subscribe on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. Follow me on all social media at the Diamond K Show. Diamond K in the house.